Paired sample t-test in SPSS. Case 1. A group of students would like to register for pre-degree examination to enable them enter into 100 level in the university. They took an examination at the beginning of the period and retook it at the end of the period. The results for the students are in the table below. We can see the performance of the students, 19 students in all, for the beginning period and the ending period. The question is, do you think that there was improvement in the performance of the students to warrant graduating into 100 level? To enable us to do this, we want to impute this data in SPSS. You can see that the table is in a horizontal form. We are going to be imputing it into SPSS in a vertical form. So this is what we have. Now, the first column will carry the first situation, and the second column will carry the later situation. We're applying paired sample t-test here because it's the same group of persons that are involved in this survey. It's the same group of students that are involved in this situation. The only difference is the timing. There is a first situation and a later situation. So the same group of students are involved. So we're going to be using paired sample t-test. Now, again, we must note that variables always appear in columns. Variables appear in columns. So we have two major variables, beginning and later, that is beginning and end. To run our analysis in SPSS, we'll go to Analyze and look for Compare Means and select Paired Samples t-tests. Paired Samples t-tests. Now we'll pick the two variables from the left-hand side. You highlight both of them and use the arrow to move them into the paired variables box, and then click on the OK. Now this is what we have. This is what we have. We have the paired sample statistics showing the mean performance for the two situations. The beginning, you can see the mean performance here showed 66.47%, and then the ending showed 68%, meaning at the beginning of the period, the average performance was 66.47, and then the average performance at the end of the period was 68%. Now, the third table here is the paired samples test. Look out for the T. This is the T value. The calculated T value is minus 0.709. When we run t-tests and we find that a negative sign, the T is carrying a negative sign, always ignore the negative sign. Ignore the negative sign in your interpretation. We'll use the absolute value. So the absolute value here is 0.709. Now, the significance value, which is the P value, is 0.488. There is a rule of thumb here we need to note to help us make our decision. Using the critical P value, the rule of thumb states there are two rules of thumb generally when we want to make decisions. The first one is using the critical P value, and the other one is using the calculated versus the tabulated values. The critical P value is always found in the output, the results, just like we have here. In SPSS, it's denoted as SIG. You see SIG, that's the significance. So that's also known as the P, the critical P. The rule of thumb when using the critical P is that if P is less than or equal to 0.05, you reject the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the beginning and the ending period. If peradventure the P value is greater than 0.05, we accept the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the beginning, the performance at the beginning, and performance at the end of the period. Now, from what we have here, our P value is greater than 0.05. This is 0.48, which is obviously greater than 0.05. So we are going to be accepting the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference in the performance at the beginning and the performance at the later end. However, you can see that at the later end of the period, performance was relatively higher than when they started. So we can conclude that even though there was no significant difference between the beginning of the period and the end, there was still justifiable reasons why the students should move into the 100 level, because at the end of the period, there was some relative improvement in their performance. So this is what we do. Paired samples t-tests. If you like this video, kindly subscribe to this channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and share. And also kindly hit on the notification bell to enable us get feedback from you, and we can easily share our new ideas and our various videos with you. Thank you.